Now, I have quite the enthusiastic welcome back message at the beginning of the meat of this episode, so I won't steal past me's thunder by doing all that now. I gotta set myself up for success. What I will do, however, is set you all up for success with a once-over of what we're gonna cover in episode 20, baby! Dedication to the cause! And you know who else has dedication? You do! And you know who else has dedication? That's right, our buddy the Sackaroo. So let me break it down for you. Today we're giving old friendo here some hops. Jumping animations are tried and true expressions of weight distribution, anticipation, follow-through, timing, the whole 9 yards. In fact, our benevolent overlords at Toon Boom have blended all that together in the following concoction: anticipation, push, stretch, and impact. As always, check out the link below for the full article, and remember, I make these intros after I record the episode, so I know what context will be most useful to research. So you'll be enjoying my discovery process. Feel free to learn from my mistakes and save yourself some grief in the future. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. Alright, and we are back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Crow's Nest here. And after a nice long vacation, we are going to get this party started with our old friend, the flour sack again. And today, we are going to be making our flour sack jumping! And of course, as always, there's a couple of different ways that we can do this. So, we can have him be stationary, and then have our anticipation where he swoops down, getting ready. Probably have like a squatting motion going on here where, you know, the legs would be, so it's going to be kind of like taking the base of the sack and sort of squashing it like that. That's him squatting. And then, of course, push up. And we can either have both of the tassels facing down, or we could have the frontmost tassel sort of up, as if the front leg is leading. Then, I think that's pretty much how we're going to be doing the jump no matter what. The one thing that I was considering, of course, is then how I want to end it. Oh, weird as hell. Of course, I wait a week and a half to record something, and then as soon as I start, I give myself the hiccups. I'm getting really good at this, guys. I'm getting really talented at this. So, we can either land back on the ground, where of course we would have our arc up. Oh yeah, I used to do these in different colors. Okay, so we go up, and then we have our arc over, and then as we begin our descent, we can either go with the sack coming back down like this, with both of the legs, with both of the bottom tassels, I guess is a better way of putting it, facing down fairly evenly, or, alternatively, we can have what was this forward, or we can have the leading tassel be extended out, and the following tassel be up. That way it gives this dynamic arc where we push off with the bottom tassel and actually pull the body up with the upward tassel, and then at the middle point we're even, which I guess would be actually up here if I had drawn those correctly, which I can do. There we go. So then when the legs are at the top of the arc, they're even, and then the upward pulling tassel becomes the landing one, and the pushing tassel becomes the following, which I think is going to create a much more dynamic jump. I like that. And now while I'm at it, I'm kind of curious, do I want to have our sack doing anything while we're in mid-air? You know, I suppose I could have the tassels come up. I think probably the simplest thing to do that would still give us a tidbit of personality would be to have the tassel arms up when we're at this halfway mark. So we'll have, you know, the arms up like this. So it's sort of a part celebration jump, but also more of like an ecstatic yippee sort of a thing. And now, what I was considering is, do we want to land on the same level that we started on, or do we want to be jumping up onto a level up? You know, maybe jumping up onto a table or a step. Yeah, I like jumping up onto stairs. Because if I have them jumping onto stairs, what I could do, I could do some looping. Yeah. So we start at the bottom of the stairs, jump up to the next step, and then what I can do is I can have this celebratory jump be the first one, and that's right up here. Then we look up, get a little discouraged at seeing all the progress that we still have to make, and then we'll do 2 more quick jumps, up 1 and up 2, and then when we get up here, put our arms up. We'll do another one of those victory poses. I got a lot of really good reactions from the victory pose from the flour sack. So, doink! In celebration that we managed to get up the steps. And then what I can do here is that this here will be one jump, which is going to be a completely unique one. And then these jumps, no, I actually need more colors. And then these jumps, oh, yellow's kind of not very interesting. And then these jumps here and here will actually be loops. So this jump will actually be a copy of this jump. It'll be the same one. So we'll just go thump, 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 landing. And then what we'll actually do here is we'll pause on the follow through for a second, with the tassels forward, and then shoot right up to the yippee. So now, what I want to try to figure out here is with the leg tassels, Legos? Yeah, with the Legos. I want to know whether or not it's better to have the landing legs be at different heights, with the leading leg and the following leg, or is it better to just have it land flat? We might not have enough time for the legs to do, this full switch. As you can see here, that's an entire 180-degree arc necessary to make that leg height transition. While with the steps, we're not landing here after starting here, we're actually landing up here, which is in this, probably ending right about there, which means that the legs are honestly flat. I think that's what I'm gonna that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Now, if I wanted to, I could totally have the leg tassels, have a slight dip. So I think maybe like at this point here, the legs would be like that. So it's sort of like a slant, like a halfway point. A favor. It's a favor over towards the halfway line, but it's slightly tilted this way. No. See, you're not going to be jumping up steps if you don't see the steps. So you're going to be adjusting your jump based off of the idea that you're going to be landing. And now that I think about it, most of the times when people are jumping up steps, like at the gym, there's platforms that people jump onto, try to land on both feet, the higher platforms, etc. They're always landing with both feet immediately on the ground at the same time. So I think that's what I'll do. So then in that case, I will land flat. And then of course, over here, we're going to want to have our same follow through here before we look up in discontent. Let's do it! So my actual stairs I really don't have to make until I finish doing all of my... Oh, you know what? Well, I have a background, right? I have an environment. I need to take my environment into account. I should definitely at least draw the stairwell first. That way I know how big my stairwell is going to be. There we go, one stairwell, just as the doctor ordered. And next up, of course, is keyframes. Now, I actually found that it was really beneficial when I was drawing all of the different flower sacks blind. So I'm going to make my stair layer invisible, make the guide layer invisible. I'm just going to draw each flower sack individually, and then do all of my resizing and everything. I thought that ended up working out really well. Alright, so what do we want our neutral position to be like? It's funny, now that I realize that I never actually bothered to reference what a Flakasara actually looks like when I did this. I just sort of started drawing what I imagined one to be. I'm gonna go check out a quick reference or something. Just to get a visual idea. I don't like that. You know what? I promised myself that I wouldn't obsess over how good the flower sack actually looked. I'm just gonna make it. There we go. And now this leaning over is going to be this full arch. And we're actually going to see the top back of the flower sack as we lean over here. And there's going to be the body. And as the tassels still come out to the sides, we'll have the top tassels hanging over like a dice. And the body will have this arc like that. So that way, in order to jump, the flower sack will fling back and send legs up that way. And then in the center of the torso, we'll pull the whole sack up. Alright then, for my next trick, so that's up, down, and I think I'm going to need a breakdown between those. Okay, let's just start with it. Let's just start with the keyframes, then go back to the breakdowns, and then then do timing in between from there. Now, originally, I wanted to have the top of the flour sack fling back, so that way, sort of like that, before it flies off this way, torso first. But I don't want to do that, because it just, in my head, that just seems like he's being pulled up. He's not jumping. He's just sort of like flying. So instead, what I'm going to do is, you want to have bent over, flour sack, then fling up, body first, then neutral, fling down, body first. Oh, which is exactly what I had in my guidelines. Great, okay, cool. Alright then, so our next keyframe is going to be our flour sack in mid-air, jumping up towards Disa way. And I'll probably adjust the, thin out that as need be. So let's just finish this up. Alright, cool. Stationary, jumping up, which means that now I need my static mid-air pose. Now, it's probably worth mentioning that this doesn't actually look like a flour sack, it really just looks like a straight up sheet of paper. So I gotta say, now that I've made the final version of this, I'm not in the slightest bit satisfied with it. I really gotta figure out how to add some body to it. Now for the landing, I decided that I wasn't going to have the leg tassels be on this arc. They're going to be more straight. But what I can do is actually have the bottom part of the torso, I guess a better way of looking at it like this, I can have the bottom part of the torso actually leaning forward while the top part of the torso is still sort of straight up and down, implying that the legs are being pushed forward in anticipation of landing on the step. The legs are sort of have this swing from one side to the other. Yeah, because then it looks like we have the left tassel that's sort of in front of the right tassel as it's making its way down. Yeah, I can work with that. Alright, then I think next up is, I guess we'll do the follow-through landing, or the follow-through after the landing. I know that I'm going to want to have a breakdown where the flour sack actually hits the ground before doing the follow-through, but that'll be on the breakdowns pass. So I guess at this point, we're not going to be folded over like we were on the other one. I'm not going to have to worry about that, but on this one we are, it's more like the top comes in, and it's still going to be at this angle, where I imagine it's still going to have this fold to it, and it's going to be leaning towards this way, while the body, becomes stationary and stays here on the ground, and the whole body sort of shifts over. So there's like a little bit of shift to the right, to the stage left. Yeah. The stage left here as the base sort of goes from up and down like this to this, but the top really travels over to like here and stops there. I didn't really need that line, I just wanted to make a pink line. I like pink. Pink's a cool color. Actually, now that I think about it, I mean, this follow-through is going to be this, and then it's just going to be slid out and slid back in. So I'm just going to make this so that way I'm reminded that's the way that I want that follow-through and settle in to go when I actually go back to make my breakdowns. Now, this look up, do I want to be... Yeah, I'm going to take the same one, and then I want to sigh, so we're going to have like a dropping of the shoulders. It's kind of like a lean forward. So it's gonna be like, there we go. Alright, cool. So that's the first jump loop. Doop, doop, ding, flying, in the air, landing, bloof, land, settle in, look up, sigh, and then get ready for the next jump. Okay, definitely gonna need a lot of work. I'm gonna definitely want to redo this one. It just doesn't have the same body. Like, this one has an okay amount of body. This is nothing. This was actually really nice. I'm actually really proud of the way that this one turned out. Alright, now I need to do the second loop, which, by the way, is actually going to copy a couple of things. So, I'm going to copy this one, and this one, and then this jump. So instead of having the arms up like this, I'm actually going to have the arms facing down. So this first one is like, celebratory jump. Hey, we can do this! Oh wait, this is actually a lot more than I thought. Alright, cool. And hop, hop, great! Okay, now we're good. So for this hop hop, we're gonna have the arms down, like he's focused. Yeah, the arms gonna be down, like his, like his shoulders up, arms down. Focused. Okay, so this looks like we're facing forward when really I want to be facing this way, which I think is gonna be fixed by taking this and making more like a that. Okay, so actually, the arms being down is going to be after we do the full arc. So here, the arms actually need to be side to side. I like this whole folding thing that we had going on here with the top and bottom of the sack, so I'm going to do that over here as well. And then that whole sequence is going to be copied again for the second loop here. And we're actually going to skip this, and we're going to go straight from here to here. Great. Alright, so let's see what that gives us so far before we do our ending. So that gives us start, looking up, anticipation of jump, first half of jump, excited middle ground, second half land with follow through and settle, look up, sigh, begin second jump, jump, regular middle, land, and then immediately jump again, regular middle, land. Okay, I think that could totally work. And now, I guess from this point, what I want to do is, from here, then I want to make my exit, my exunt. So that's going to be, let's see, land, settle, and then I'm going to pause here for a second. So actually on this frame, I'm going to make a note for myself that I want to hold this for a bit. And then, celebration. Bada bing, bada boom. Well, okay, not yet. Boom! There we go. Oh wait, no, not yet, not yet, not yet. Alright, there we go. Let's do one last quick sweep of this before we call it an episode. So, looking up all anticipatory-like. Getting ready. Jump! Whee! Plop. Oh, there's a lot more than I thought. Whew. Okay. And jump up again. And last jump. Yeah, poof. Okay. We made it? Yeah! Alright, so that takes care of all of our keyframes. So next episode, we'll go back, we'll make our breakdowns, we'll think a little bit more critically about the motion that we want, you know, the swaying and the swinging, etc. And then once we have a breakdowns, we can then go and do the timing. And then I imagine that'll probably be the end of that one. And then part 3 will be a long series of time lapses as I make so many in betweens. And then hopefully we'll have an animation. With that, thank you all very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing what we end up with. Y'all have yourselves a fantastic day. Full disclosure, there are 563 audio-visual cuts and 155 graphics in this video, so trust me, I am equally as dedicated to the cause as the flour sack. I will not be out enthusiastic, although he is cute. I'll give him that. So help your boys out, and subscribe if this is up your alley, and toss in a like if any of this tickled your fancy. And finally, thanks again to Toon Boom Learn for their insight when it was needed most.